Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Erica, and if you're not new, welcome back. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun if we have a bit of like a pink plant party. So this video is going to be all about pink plants that are in my collection. I have some favorite pink plants I want to share with you guys. And we'll also be repotting my bigger Pink Princess philodendrons. So if you're interested in hanging out today, let's go ahead and get to today's video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the first pink plant I want to show you guys. And that is my Begonia Manus. And I will put the name below just in case I'm not saying that correctly. But this one is really unique because it has this hot pink fuzz and tiny little hairs along all the leaves. So I think it is absolutely gorgeous. This is what the back of the leaves look like. I recently had to chop this. I made a bunch of propagations for this one, which I do have a couple available in my shop if you are interested. I just love plants with tiny little hairs on them. I think they're just adorable. And this one just looks really pretty. So that is the Begonia Manus. And next up we have a cute little plant that is actually rehabbing right now. I did have a really large one of these. It is a variegated string of hearts. It's kind of hard to pick up on the pink, but if you look at the back of the leaves, it does have a pinkish color on them. See if I can get a little closer. This one is just really cute. I think this string of hearts is beautiful. I had a lot of trouble growing my string of plant beginning, so I finally learned how to get them to grow good, and that is by providing them more humidity and making sure that they have a light source on the top. There's a little bit of new growth that is happening. This was just a tiny little two-leaf cutting. If you can see right here, I think that is where the newest vine is coming from. It's coming from this little prop right here that is pinned down with a strawberry pin. I just really think this one is cute. Art plants are just so gorgeous. I love to have them kind of hanging off of a shelf. I think it looks really pretty, and it's a nice mix to throw into your collection. So that is my variegated string of hearts. And let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. So the next plant I have is a Hoya. It doesn't really have permanent pink leaves on it, but it does come in with pink leaves. The Hoya Crimson Queen comes in with these beautiful pink emergent leaves. They emerge pink, and they have a little pink on the stem as well. And then they turn to this beautiful white color. So I just think this one is really gorgeous. I love Hoyas that have the pink color on them, or Hoyas that get pink sun stressing. I've been working on getting some of those into my collection. So this is just a really cute one. Love this Hoya, and that is the Hoya Crimson Queen. Okay, so this next one has some beautiful pink emerging colors on it when the leaves emerge. So this one is the Philodendron Pink Aria, and this one just has beautiful pink splashes on it that comes in on some of the leaves. It's a little, it's mostly green right now, but if you can see here, there are some splashes of pink on it, which makes it kind of look like Philodendron Pink Micans. Just really love the pink splashing on this one, guys. This leaf's torn here. When I first got it, it had a lot more pink on it, but it will come in pink and then the leaves will slowly turn a green color. So I just think the pink on here is really pretty. I hope to one day get the Philodendron Pink Micans as well to add to my philodendron collection, but I just wanted to go ahead and show this little guy off. He is super cute, and that is the Pink Aria. So next we have another begonia, and that is my Begonia Jenny Galaxy, and this one has the hot pink backside to its leaves and gets beautiful pink variegation on the leaves. like this one here. I have been having a little bit of trouble with my begonia crisping on the ends. I don't know why my begonias have been doing that lately, but I did have to chop up my mother plant. So this is a cutting from my mother plant. This was the cutting that was the most variegated. I just think that it's absolutely gorgeous. This one does like to revert though, so if it does get a green leaf, I will chop it off, and usually the new emergent will come back variegated. If you have this one, that's just something to keep in mind, but I just think this one is so pretty, and that is the Begonia Jenny Galaxy. All right, so this next one is a type of nerve plant. I think it is called a Phytonia. This one is just really pretty. It's super pink and green. The leaves that come in are really pink as well, and it has that cute green outline. I just think this plant is really cute. I'm getting a new pot for it soon too. I feel like I want something to kind of complement it, but I ended up finding this, I think at Lowe's, and it was only $5, and I just really love pink plants, and I just love the pop of color it brings. So here is this one, super cute. Right, so next we have this Pink Princess. This is my favorite Pink Princess that I have right now. This is the Pink Princess Galaxy. It has the more modeling to the leaves, which I think is really pretty. This newest leaf looks like it's going to have a lot of pink on it. This one has been doing really well. If you watch the video of when I got this plant, there was 2 plants in the pot, and I moved one into my chunky soil mix and one into pond. And this one is really loving pond so far. It's the plant that's doing the best. So yeah, I just think this one is really gorgeous. That is the Philodendron Pink Princess Galaxy. Okay, so next we have another begonia. This is probably one of my favorite begonias in my collection. It could be considered more red, but it does have these really gorgeous pink flowers that it puts out. So I went ahead and included this one on the list. I just think this is super gorgeous. I forgot the name of this one, so I will put it below. I think it is some type of Rex begonia. It took me a while to figure out the exact name of this, and for some reason it always slips my mind. But this begonia is super gorgeous. It has the cutest furry little stems, and I just really love that. I love the little tiny hairs on it. It's just one of my absolute favorite begonias that I have in my collection. So there is that one, and let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Okay, so I think the last 2 are also going to be begonias. This one has been rehabbing a little bit. It got a lot of that crispy leaf edges that I've been talking about. I'm not sure why that's happening to a lot of my begonias. Most of these were in my IKEA cabinet and were receiving high humidity. But this is the Begonia Pink Spot, and I believe this is a cane begonia, and this one is just absolutely gorgeous. It almost looks like all those dots were just painted on, and they're a super cute pink color, but it's growing pretty big. I'm gonna have to get like a stake for this. It does have this little stake, but it's not clipped up right now. The back of the leaves look like this. So it doesn't have a lot going on as far as with the stems. There's no little tiny hairs or anything on it, but the leaves on here are just so cute and pink and pretty. Yeah, this one is just really pretty. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to get this one repotted today. So I might include that on this video if we end up doing it, but I have this really cute pink pot that I found at Walmart. It was only $5. And I just think it's really cute. So I might move that begonia into this one because I've been looking for the right plant. So I think this is the last one. Here is another little begonia. And this one is really pretty. It looks almost like iridescent. It changes colors depending on the lighting. Sometimes it looks pink, sometimes it looks purple. And Here's the example. If I move it, it just has like this iridescence to it, which is so cool. It's a type of Rex begonia. I will look up the name and put it below because I can't remember offhand. But this one got chopped back. It's been coming in really good with the new growth, but this one ended up having a lot of that crisping I was talking about. So I ended up chopping it back. So we will see how this one does. It's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, there is that begonia. All right, guys, so I think that wraps up all of my pink plants. I might have forgot one or two. I do have a pink princess, but we're going to be working on that one later in this video, so you will see that one soon. Let me know what your favorite pink plant is. That said, let's go ahead and get on with the rest of today's video. All right, guys, so here we have my giant pink princess. This one I got a few months ago. It was a box store find. It was a lot prettier when I got it. Whole bunch of beautiful pink variegation that browned off. So it also has three, I don't know if you guys can see, but it has three giant vines over here. And it's just been really top heavy and toppling over. And a lot of the leaves that are coming in are doing this. And yeah, I just feel like I should just give it a chop today, possibly propagate it as well. I have a towel laying down here because I just hosed it off. It might have spider mites as well. I noticed a little web on it, so I just gotta give it a thorough look over and see what's going on with it. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully the lighting's okay. I have a hard time finding good lighting in my house. It's covered with trees and I don't really have a lot of like good windows and spaces to film in. So hopefully you guys can see okay, but let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my gloves. I do have super sensitive skin, which you may have saw in some of my other videos. So I do like to wear gloves, especially when I'm messing with philodendrons. Has a very bright pink sap that comes out when you chop it. And I just do not want to get that on my skin, so I am going to be wearing gloves. Have it attach this cocoa core pull with Velcro. Love Pink Princess philodendrons, but they have been not the best growers for me as far as the ones that I had before. This one seems to be producing new growth on it pretty regularly, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, it just has multiple growth points coming out here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but you see that how it just has multiple. There's one main vine and then there's just multiple growth points coming off of that. So I would like to just maybe chop off this lower one. I think I'm going to go ahead and chop that one. So let me try to get a good look at it. And you want to cut below a node so it will have a, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these bottom leaves. And I'm just going to go ahead and chop this guy off right there. And this is what it looks like. So I'm trying to decide if I want to get rid of this one as well. I don't think I'm going to. I think just two vines will be a lot better. It will be easier for me to manage this one. I'm going to go ahead and secure this so it doesn't topple over. And we will probably get this one repotted as well. I'm probably just going to go ahead and get this moved over into a chunky soil mix. So I'm going to go mix that up and find another pot and I will be right back. Okay, so let's talk about the soil I'm going to be using for this repot. So this soil mix is a mix of Mother Earth Performance soil, orchid bark, and some chunkier perlite. I also went ahead and grabbed another nursery pot. I might end up using this one or I might use the one it's still in. I'll just have to see how big the root system is once we get it unpotted. But I really like these ones. I get them from Amazon and I'll put them in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and speed things up here. That way this video goes a little faster. I'm just going to go ahead and gently get most of this old soil mix off of here. It was potted in, it looks like just a really heavy, dense standard potty mix. So I think it'll appreciate getting moved into an airier mix. So let me just go ahead and speed this up and I will pop back on here in a few seconds. Okay, so I went ahead and got that old soil off and rinsed off the roots, and now I have two different pot sizes that I'm trying to decide between. So I have this 5-inch pot over here on the left, and then I have the bigger, I think this is a 7-inch pot over on the right. So the root system is very large, and I don't really want to get rid of too many of these roots. So let me just take a look here and figure out which one I'm going to use. I also am thoroughly inspecting this and making sure that it does not have any pests. I think the web was either dust or just from a regular spider because there is no spider mites on here, so that is good news. So let me go ahead and unattach this from the cocoa core pool and we will get it moved over into another pot. Okay, so here is the first pot, and it looks like it is a little bit too small. The next size pot I have is this one over here, which I feel like is just a little too large, but I'd rather it be in a bigger pot than a smaller one. That way it fits in there nicely with the pole. So I'm going to go ahead and use the bigger one today. This might even be an 8-inch pot. I think it's either a 7 or 8-inch. I will put the info in the description. And now I'm just going to go ahead and fill up the bottom with my soil mix. And I'm going to take this and kind of wind up the roots a little bit to get it to fit in there and carefully place it in the pot. I'm trying to make sure that all the roots are covered, so I want it in there deep enough for that. And then I also want to make sure there's enough space for that cocoa core pole. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in as well. And it looks like it's going to fit in here really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and finish filling this pot up with our soil mix, and then I will show you guys what I'm going to fertilize this with today. So let's speed things up here and I will pop back on here in a few. So I'm going to be adding this Osmocote Plus granule fertilizer. This is just a slow release fertilizer, and I like to add this in with most of my plants that I repot. All of my plants seem to do really well with this. So I went ahead and sprinkled some of that in, and then I'm just going to top the rest off with the rest of my potting mix. And now that I have that repotted, I went ahead and grabbed some twine and I'm just going to attach the vines to the cocoa core pole. I like the look of twine better than the green Velcro, so if I have it on hand, I like to use twine over Velcro with the cocoa core poles, but you could use either one. I just prefer the way the twine looks with the cocoa core pole over the Velcro. I just think it looks a lot prettier and neater. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a few pieces of this twine and secure it in different areas. That way it is nice and snug against the cocoa core pole. This will help it as it grows up and hopefully will encourage the leaf size to upsize as well. So let's go ahead and speed things up as I finish up this next step. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a water. So for my water, I went ahead and mixed up some great white mica, which I've talked about in some of my previous videos. I recently have started adding this to my water. It's supposed to help prevent root shock and help with root development. So I've been using it for a few weeks now, and all my plants have responded really well to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and thoroughly water this guy, clean up my mess, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and got my potting mat out of the way, and this is the finished result. I am so much happier with the way it looks. I think that it will end up filling out a little better over time, but with 3 vines on there, it just was getting really messy and hard to control pests and everything. So I think it'll be much more manageable with just the 2 vines on it. So let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and prop up that cutting we took. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I propagate my philodendrons. So this is the Pink Princess that we just chopped this vine off of my mother plant. This one has been coming in with a lot of pink on it, so I think this will be a good one to propagate. The variegation on this one is really pretty, and if you can see this newest leaf, it has some pink. All right, so what you're going to want to do is grab some sharp shears, and we're going to cut in between each of these nodes here. So if you see this little ring right here, that is the node, and right there is the growth point where you can see another little leaf getting ready to emerge. So these little dried up bits are actually aerial roots. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut in between each of those nodes. I am just going to, I'm going to try to leave actually a few of these nodes with a longer leaf, but I am going to remove some of these bottom ones. For the nodes with the leaves on them, I'm going to put those in water, and then I'm just going to take the nodes without any leaves and we're going to put those into sphagnum moss. So let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments, and I will try my best to voice over this and walk you through what I'm doing. It's a little hard for me to remember each step, so if I miss anything, just let me know. So let's go ahead and get started. So for my nodes, I'm going to be placing them in this little container with sphagnum moss. This container is a little smaller than I wanted it to be. I actually thought I had a bigger container available and I realized I didn't. So I'm just going to temporarily place them in that smaller container. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to wear gloves for this just so I don't get any of that sap on me. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and cut in between each node here. I'm also cutting more at an angle and watching to make sure that I don't cut into that growth point. So the internodal spacing on this is very tight and it's hard to see with all the leaves I ended up removing. So I'm going to try my best to get as many nodes out of this as I can. And I'm also going to go ahead and remove the leaf from each node that is going to go into the moss. I had a really hard time trying to determine where to cut on this top part. So I'm hoping that I ended up cutting it in the right place, but I will keep you guys updated once I get these cuttings moved over to water. It was really hard to tell, and I watched some videos before this and tried to learn exactly where to cut. That way I wouldn't end up cutting into the growth points, but for some reason it was really hard to see on this plant. So I have all my cuttings. So let's go ahead and get these guys propped up. I almost forgot this step. So I wanted to go ahead and dip the ends of each of these cuttings into wax, and it helps prevent rot because philodendron cuttings can rot really easily. And I've had a few that have done this, so let me show you an example real quick. So here is a Florida green cutting that has been rooting in my prop box. And as you can see, the end of this one is black. And a lot of my cuttings that I did not seal off with wax or put anything on the ends have ended up rotting in the prop box. So sealing it with wax is a little trick that is supposed to help prevent that. So let's go ahead and get started. So here are all my top cuttings with the leaf attached. So we're just going to go ahead and dip that exposed end into the wax. So for the wax, I'm going to be using this plain 100% natural soy wax, and this is used for like candle making. You can get in the candle making section of craft stores. So I went ahead and warmed up the wax in my little wax warmer off here to the side, and it just is a light bulb that heats up the wax. So let's go ahead and get our first node in here. So I'm just going to carefully seal off the ends by dipping it into the hot wax, avoiding the root area and the growth point as I do this. And then once I have each node dipped into the wax, I'm just going to set it off to the side and let it dry. So I grabbed my little prop container here, and I'm just going to set the nodes on the top of this. It is a very tight squeeze, so hopefully I can fit these guys in there and close the lid. I might actually try to move them into my bigger prop box. I'll just have to see, but this should work temporarily, at least until I can get a bigger prop box for them. And I went ahead and grabbed a vase. You could also use a jar for this, but just fill it with some water and go ahead and add your leaf cuttings, making sure that the node is completely immersed in the water. And you're just going to want to set this in somewhere that gets a lot of light. It could be a grow light or near a window. Just make sure it doesn't get a lot of direct sun, such as a south window. That might be a little too harsh for it, but yeah, I think this is going to look really cute as it grows, and I just think the pink on these leaves is really pretty. So let me go ahead and get this moved over to a window, and I will get you guys on to the next video. So let's go ahead and get this pink spot begonia put into this cute little pink planter that I got. I think it'll look really cute in this one. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why all my begonias are crisping up like this. It's been very interesting. Maybe they're just drying out more than usual. I know a lot of my begonias have been in sphagnum moss. I just spilled soil all over me. But since begonias do not like to dry out, I'm going to be using this soil mix. This is the Mother Earth soil mix. I will put the info in the description, and I'll throw in a picture if I have it. You guys know what this brand looks like. So let's go ahead and get this out of the pot. Take a look at it. Right now it looks like it is in some sort of cocoa core. So begonias have a really fine root system, so I'm just going to try to break this up as best I can. I don't want to disturb it too much. This is just a little stake that I had in there. It is needing a little bit more support now that it has gotten a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now I got this one at a local nursery not too long ago. So I haven't repotted it since I got it. So I'm not sure exactly. Oh, I can see here that it is in plugs. It looks like there's 2 plants in the pot, and I'm just going to go ahead and pot them up together. I'm not going to separate them, but it looks like it has a mesh plug, which I do not like plugs, so I am going to try to remove that. As far as I can tell, it looks like it's been growing through it though. I don't want to damage the roots too much, but I just really do not like plugs. Let me just try to get as much of that off as I can. And I'll probably just go ahead and speed this part up as I get these out. So let me go ahead and speed this up and I will pop back on here in a minute. Guys, so I went ahead and got my mat cleaned off and have these 2 cuttings that I'm going to pot up together. I got my soil mix here and I went ahead and washed a nursery pot. This one is about the same size that it was in before. I'm going to use it so it will fit into this little planter pot. In the bottom here, and add my plants. All right, so let me go ahead and finish filling this up. I broke off the leaf. That's the leaf. I am going to go ahead and put this little stake back in here. I think it will just give it a little extra support until I get something a little nicer. I'm just going to stick that in there, and then I'm just going to tie both of these longer stems up to it with some twine. So let me go get the twine and I'll be right back. All right, so here's my little piece of twine. I'm just going to carefully get in here and tie these 2 pieces to this. There we go. feel like it's all going the wrong direction now. I kind of don't like the way that looks, but hopefully it will end up all growing the same way. It was kind of hard to get both of these cuttings in here. So let's go ahead and get this guy watered. I also need to cut this string. It's a little long, it's hanging. Get my scissors real quick and cut that off. Might tie up this other little piece too. Okay, so here it is all potted up. I went ahead and added twine to all those longer stems that were drooping over. I also went ahead and removed some of the crispy leaves so it's all nice and cleaned up. So hopefully this one won't shock or anything and will bounce back for me, and all the leaves will start facing in the same direction. There's another little leaf. I'm going to trim this guy off. Cute. I just love the pink spots on here. I think this is a really cute plant. Super girly plant too. I just love it. I love begonias. They just give that little something extra to my plant spaces. They're just super interesting to look at, and I just love begonias, guys. I'm hoping to get some more soon, and maybe one day I can do a begonia video for you guys. Be on the lookout for another video soon. I do have some plant mail coming in that I'm going to share with you. I have another couple anthuriums that I ordered from a new seller, so be on the lookout for that. And I also have a new Hoya coming in, so hopefully I will get another unboxing video out here soon so I can share those new plants with you guys. So here is a final look at this plant that we repotted today. I think it looks super cute in this new pot. Let me know what you guys think. And if you made it to the end of this video, please drop some pink hearts into the comments. I appreciate you guys for being here, and if you're not already subscribed, be sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss when I post a new video. So with that said, guys, I think that is all we are going to do in today's video. So I will talk to you guys soon.